everyone. Good morning. Greetings from Guadalajara, Mexico. I have a question regarding pranayama and meditation. Hatha Yoga talks about the control of prana, but I do not feel the necessity to control. But lately, when meditating, something happens with my breath if I do not mess with it, and it feels like I am running out of it. Feels like dying, but peaceful. Should I continue this process of meditation or interfere with it, trying to control it?
This is, Mauricio, this is actually a wonderful sign. It means your body is going into deeper states of meditation and that you should do just what you do. See, there's a stage where we strive to meditate, where we do pranayams, we do mantras, we do quieting breathing, but there comes a stage where that which is coming takes over and it starts breathing us. It starts living us. So one of the signs is when you're sitting in silence, the stillness is the breath quiet. It's quiet. It's remarkable that as you're doing this, if you follow it, yes, I can see where there might be some, like I am dying, but it doesn't sound like there was fear in you. So it means that the quality that would imagine it needs to breathe is dying, which would be the ego that's always struggling to live. There's something in you that has relaxed deeply at least in this process that you describe, for as long as it lasts. And there's a deep relaxation where the body does not need as much air. As a matter of fact, in samadhi, which is the completion of this, undetectable breath. And the person's just fine. Heartbeat's just fine, though very slow. The whole body slows up. The mind becomes empty, the heart opens, and the body relaxes. The relaxation means that all the functions of the body slow up, because what they're doing is they're absorbing, they're receiving the meditation force that's coming in. And it's going into the cells of the body. So I have stages of meditation I talk about, which is the first stage, of course, is when you try to sit still and be quiet for 15 minutes. You discover that what you're doing is thinking all the time. So the first stage of meditation is thought, where you recognize you're thinking and not merge with the thoughts. And then the next stage is calming, which comes not on your own. It just comes by persistent practice of sitting still and silent. The Rajas mind slowly just loses interest in you, or you lose interest in it. It just keeps running, and you just sort of sitting there. And in that place, there's a calmness. And in the calmness, you may not notice it, but there's a sort of a relaxation, because you're not going with every thought. You're not going wherever it takes you. You're kind of relaxing in, and that's going from tamas or rajas into sattva. Calmness, then, as it deepens, it becomes silence. Silence is like everything's been turned off, and all there is this. And it is also very calming. And at the silence, if you paid attention, you'll notice your breath will get shorter and shorter and shorter. Silence then dives into this condition where the body relaxes, as you're describing, and it becomes peace. The peace is the ego has merged with the self. The ego has merged with the being, which is the source of ego. And the being needs nothing of ego to be. It exists first. And in that self-existent contact, then in that peace, two things happen. You disappear, because the mind, when the mind starts quieting, it thinks, okay, nap time. There's tamas in the system. The first thing that happens when you start diving deeper, you get so relaxed that finally you can actually sleep. And that goes on for some years, by the way. But then you'll come out of your nap and you'll find yourself in sattva. And in that sattva, then you're in the peace. And that will last for some hours or some days, actually. Depends how long and how deep you went into that state. And then when that goes on long enough, because all these stages take time to integrate and make them real, then what happens is you'll go into the light. Actually, what will happen is you merge with the original reality that's greater than your individual being, and you'll wink out. And when you come back, everything is wonderful. Everything is slowed down. What you taste, what you smell, blinking of your eyes become pleasurable. What you see outward just becomes like startling, alive and real. So keep doing what you're doing, because that's exactly when we start becoming meditated, what you want to do is sit as long as your life circumstances allow you in that state until it completes. Each time it comes, it's grace, it's coming. Grace is coming into your system. It'll complete. Now when it completes because there's something in your system that is still struggling to be an ego. Negative ego, positive ego, restless ego, wanting ego, angry ego, fearful ego. And so that usually you will have to meet fairly soon after the meditation state. Because it's always trying to make, this grace is trying to make room for itself in our system. So when it comes, it goes as deep and as profoundly as we can receive it at that time. And trying to make room for itself. In the process, it pushes what fills that space otherwise, pushes it out, and brings it to your attention. And then you discover your worst self and your restless self, and your thoughts seem even more worrisome, and meditation becomes even more impossible, and you're sure you should stop meditating, right? So this is the thing ego does. It tries to reclaim the territory. So you need to have that as an early warning sign, so that you know that there is a work required. After, what is the word? After the bliss, then the laundry?
Yes.
Yes. It is after you get the grace, and then there's all the shit that doesn't know how to hold it or be with it. So, welcome to the work. I don't know who you are. They're only in Guadalajara. Marcio? Is that how to say it? Anyway, welcome. Thank you for your question.
Okay.